Spartan training was unrelenting and designed to push soldiers to their physical limits. As you can see, Spartan training was not focused on extensive muscle growth of any sort, because that's the inevitable result of a rigorous training regimen. Instead, it was aimed at improving speed, agility, and muscle memory. There is a special thing that most soldiers would have one side of their body much stronger than the other. This was no doubt because of the uneven loading of carrying a sword in one hand and a shield in the other on another side. In addition, standing and punching positions in boxing training will also impact muscle changes in parts of the body. Moreover, the heavy helmet made an overly muscular neck with some skeletal bones, showing they had up to 4 times the neck muscle growth compared to a regular person. It is certainly also combined with special nutrition, just like the special way that muscles grow. Complementing this point is the fact that Spartan youths were never fully sated and were always hungry to some degree. It's not that Sparta didn't have enough food, but they had a separate diet for soldiers. The Spartan diet, fuel for warriors. Diet played a crucial role in Spartan training. Spartans were discouraged from indulging in elaborate meals. They were given very little to eat to teach them to endure hunger, self-discipline, and self-control, 2 highly revered qualities of a Spartan warrior. Breakfast, fueling for the day. After the morning run and before boxing, Spartan warriors gathered for breakfast. Their meal was simple but nourishing, consisting of barley bread, sweet figs, and cheese. This humble fare provided the energy required for the day's rigorous training. Lunch, replenishing strength. After hours of training, it was time for lunch. Lentil soup and boiled meat were on the menu, providing the protein needed for muscle recovery. Spartan warriors knew that their bodies were their most critical weapons. Dinner, the final nourishment. As evening descended, Spartans gathered for their final meal. Dinner consisted of barley porridge, vegetables, a modest portion of meat or fish, and wine. The wine had a prominent place in the diet of the ancient Spartans. However, this did not mean that they drank freely. Each person at the meal was given a glass of wine mixed with water, which they refilled as needed. But Spartans did not tolerate the drunkards. But that's not all. Pressure creates diamonds. No food, no clothes, no problem. No food. Spartan warriors were encouraged to steal the food. But if they were caught stealing, they received a beating, not so much for the act of stealing, but for being revealed. This was a training method, which ensured they were resourceful and had a high resistance to hunger and pain. No clothes. Even their resistance to the cold was constantly tested. In the Agoj, they were encouraged to train in the nude no matter the weather conditions. For clothing, they were given just one cloak to wear year-round to make them learn to endure heat and cold, and made their own beds from plants that they had to rip out of the ground with their bare hands from riverbanks. To toughen them up even more, Spartan boys were compelled to go barefoot and seldom bathed or used ointments so that their skin became hard and dry. And if any time for a bath, they would bathe in the cold waters of the Eurotaz River under the concrete opinion that bathing in hot water made one a coward. At that time, boxing matches will help their bodies become warmer and stronger than ever. This is probably also one of the reasons why we see ancient boxers often wearing nothing during matches. No food and clothes also make Spartan youths more self-controlled in regard to their needs. It also makes boys more contempt and indifferent to having less food, clothing, and personal possessions. This was in hopes that when a difficult situation inevitably presented itself, Spartan soldiers would be more likely to recover and care for themselves in comparison to other Greeks who were accustomed to being provided with minor comforts and luxuries. Perhaps that is why King Leonidas was able to defend Greece against the Persian army in the Battle of Thermopylae with only 300 Spartan warriors, hence the movie 300.
We are on a project to restore humanity's heroic history. Please support us by clicking subscribe to our free channel.